Hello everyone, my name is Kinetic and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online Academy. This week's news roundup, I got some pretty interesting bits for you guys coming out of Gamescom. We've got some new interviews with both ZeniMax and Bethesda representatives, and also several media groups had some hands-on time with the Elder Scrolls Online, and we'll see what they have to say about the game's current development. First of all, let's talk about content updates. In the wake of the recent announcement that the Elder Scrolls Online would require a subscription fee in order to continue to play it, there's been, well, let's say some controversy regarding this. Many people think that this is a good thing, that it speaks for the quality that ZeniMax is putting into their game, but there have been a lot of valid concerns about whether this is a smart move by ZeniMax, because so many companies very recently have tried to do pretty much the exact same thing, including Star Wars The Old Republic, which started as a subscription-based game but went free to play not long after. To be pay-to-play or not to be pay-to-play, this debate has been raging on ever since its announcement for the Elder Scrolls Online, so it's a good thing, I think, that they are starting to come out and talk about and show more about the Elder Scrolls Online. In an interview with VG247, Matt Fuhrer says that you need to make sure there's something for those players to do that's new and refreshing on an ongoing basis. So the other side of that is we're planning regular content updates, and pretty substantial ones, like every month to 6 weeks. The game's not done, but feature-wise, it's pretty well done. So our content teams have kind of separated, and some of them are working on data feedback, polish, fixing quests that players don't like in beta, that kind of thing. And then other teams have peeled off and are working on totally new content players won't see until after the game launches. Even now we're working on that, end quote. So that's really good. That's reassuring to know that they are not going to be just trying to polish the game and to keep it running well enough, for the people that are paying a monthly subscription, but that there's going to be significant amounts of content on a regular basis. That's really, really important. We have yet, obviously, to see just how substantial these updates really are, how high the quality is, but I'm sure that if it's not good enough, many players will be voicing their opinions about this quality of content, and ZeniMax will either have to step it up really quickly, or they could be suffering from some subscription losses. And that's what a lot of people are thinking might happen. I personally do not think that it's wise to assume this. I mean, yes, a lot of games recently in the MMO genre have tried to do a subscription type of payment model, and they ended up going free to play, but I don't think that that means that pay to play is a dead model. We're still seeing new games like just recently Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, is also continuing with their subscription model. It's not really a dead payment model, it's just one that needs to be done right, I think. And I think ZeniMax, just like previous companies and their MMORPGs, deserve a chance to prove their worth. We need to give them, I think, the benefit of the doubt, especially those that are really serious about playing the Elder Scrolls Online and are up for supporting the company and giving them what they need to make the best game they possibly can. One of the biggest concerns, and something that popped in my head really early on when they announced that the Elder Scrolls Online would be a subscription type of game, is how is this going to work out for console players? For PC players, it's no big deal. We buy the game, we pay the monthly fee, that's it. But for console players, they buy the game, they pay the monthly subscription fee for the Elder Scrolls Online to continue to play it, but they also pay a subscription fee, for example, Xbox Live Gold, which allows them to play online multiplayer games. And now we know also after E3 this year that Sony is doing a similar service now, PlayStation Plus. It is also going to require a fee to play online multiplayer games. So it's really unfair, obviously, to expect that Elder Scrolls Online players that are interested in playing, for example, on PlayStation 4 would have to pay another fee on top of a subscription fee to play the Elder Scrolls Online. Well, even though I personally think that this should have been addressed as early as possible, we do have sort of an answer coming from an interview with the official Xbox magazine. Bethesda VP of Marketing Pete Hines stated that Bethesda is currently in talks with Microsoft to remove the requirement to pay for Xbox Live Gold in order to play the Elder Scrolls Online. And this is what Pete says, quote, "We have been in talks with Microsoft about that very thing and seeing whether or not there's any room to change their minds about that for folks who are only playing the Elder Scrolls Online and don't want to pay for an Xbox Live Gold subscription." He also goes on to say, "The answer right now is that's the way it works, but it's something that we're aware of and we keep pushing on to see if there's something that can be done. We'll let you know if there's movement there." So basically what this means is that Bethesda is saying to Microsoft, hey, we're gonna give you our game to play on your system. How about you drop the requirement for Xbox Live Gold in order to play this game online multiplayer? And Microsoft is basically saying, nope, we're not gonna do that right now. But they are continuing to try and have talks with Microsoft to see if they will change their minds at some point or another. And similarly, Bethesda is facing a situation like this with Sony's PlayStation Plus now being a requirement to play multiplayer online games. They're also doing the same kind of talks there. Here's my speculation on how I think this might go down in the worst case scenario. What might happen is that neither Sony nor Microsoft will give up the requirement for a premium online fee in order to play the Elder Scrolls Online, and then in reaction to this, to make it fair for their players playing on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, is Bethesda ZeniMax will give a discount of some sorts that balances out and equals to exactly the same as what PC players would be paying. So for whatever the cost is for Xbox Live Gold or whatever the cost is for PlayStation Plus online multiplayer service, that will be cut out of the cost for the subscription fee to pay and play for the Elder Scrolls Online. That's my theory on probably what's going to happen, I think. But who knows, it may very well be that Microsoft and or Sony decides to drop the requirement to play the Elder Scrolls Online and not require a premium multiplayer service fee for their consoles. I think that either way though, if you are intending to play the Elder Scrolls Online and you're really interested in playing on console, I really think that one way or another, ZeniMax and Bethesda is going to make it possible and make it fair for both console and PC players to pay the same amount. And to wrap things up for this news video, I've got a few different quotes here from different media groups that had some hands-on time with the Elder Scrolls Online. Brisbane Times says, "I was allowed the freedom to just go where I chose, and the experience was remarkably like single-player Elder Scrolls Skyrim." Daily Joypad says, "ESO looks and plays so much like Skyrim that I had to check myself when an online player would join in my battles." Game Informer, "The interesting quest lines and familiar combat have kept me engaged so far, and doing it all with friends should make the experience even more exciting." From the Games Hub, "Thanks to the immensely story-driven gameplay, tons of books to read, areas to explore, and dungeons to crawl through, it's hard to imagine the Elder Scrolls Online not striking a chord with the Elder Scrolls and MMO fans alike." From Outside the Box, "The first-person perspective and evocative setting brings the Elder Scrolls Online closer than ever to fulfilling its promise, a multiplayer Skyrim." TP Review says, "The voice acting was fantastic and the writing was funny as well as interesting. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come for the game as a whole." And with VG 24/7, it's basically a new full Elder Scrolls title with online aspects should you wish to use them. In first-person view on one of Skyrim's many islands, I felt like it was an extension of the Elder Scrolls V. And that is what I have for you guys in this week's Elder Scrolls Online news wrap-up. I hope that brings a little bit of comfort to you guys that have been really feeling down and depressed about the Elder Scrolls Online being a pay-to-play game. I know that it's a hard pill to swallow for many of you out there, but I also think that, again, we should give them the benefit of the doubt and the chance to show us that the Elder Scrolls Online is worthy of a subscription fee to play. I think it looks like a really good looking game, and I think that there's still a lot for them to show us in the months to come before its launch. Let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff in the comments section below. Be sure to click the like button and stay subscribed for more coming up from the Elder Scrolls Online Academy. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.